why is Election Commission not prepared to be transparent and put in public domain Form 17C? A single reply to any of these memoranda, to any of these letters, not a word. And then how can they say that nobody approached them? There are political party agents sitting there. There are 5 people from the polling officers in the booth and another 5 outside the booth. I understand. Not just 10, but probably 14, 15 also. So it would be more than 3,000, 35,000. But the point is this. The point I'm raising is, has it really happened?
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on The Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news, because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. A panel discussion took place in the national capital where a whole host of intellectuals, economists, some politicians, civil society activists got together and they scanned through available election commission documents to arrive at a conclusion that something unusual has happened in the Andhra Pradesh 2024 Assembly elections. Among the observations which were found unusual is a possible 6-second turnaround time for voters voting post the voting time, that is 6 p.m., which went on till 2 a.m. Now, here's the thing. The process of voting, beg your pardon, post the time of voting, which is 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., is very, very clear, as you will know in this interview that we are about to present. There is a concept of tokenization, videography, Form 17C, Form 20, all sorts of checks and balances are in place. But many members who presented these facts seem to suggest that none of these checks and balances are available to the public for cross-verification, thus raising a lot of doubt on whether they even exist. Some people are even alleging that if the Election Commission is claiming that voting happened till 2 a.m. on voting day, did it even happen on the ground? We speak to noted economist Parakala Prabhakar. He was one of the members in the panel discussion who has scanned and studied these documents. He has certain observations, and on the basis of that, he concludes that there was something unusual in the Andhra Pradesh Vidhan Sabha elections 2024. Let's listen in to this discussion. All right, joining us right now is Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, noted economist. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. A panel discussion took place in the national capital. You were also there. A certain presentation was made. A lot of things were said about the manner in which unusual activities happened in the Andhra Pradesh elections. For the benefit of our viewers, Mr. Prabhakar, would it be possible for you to revisit and explain how exactly were you mounting your argument? And we'll begin with first things first. What is the source of this information?
Okay. Thank you very much, Upadhyay, for having me on your show. The first thing I would like to say to you and to your viewers is this, that whatever I say in this program and whatever I said before regarding this particular issue, I am prepared to be challenged on every word that I spoke, every word that I wrote, every data point that I gave, every decimal point that I have written or spoken. I'm prepared to be challenged. You can interrogate me. That's one. The second thing is, I've seen some of the press reports which said, Parakala alleged that there was this much of a polling after midnight and all that. It's not my allegation. It is the data that I have taken from the ECI's portal. CEO of Andhra Pradesh, his statements as reported in the media. Nothing is my data. Interestingly, Upadhyayji, all this thing is hiding in plain sight all these months. There's nothing except, you identify this is the data point, and then you give an interpretation. And what I have done is to look at it as a time series. That's all. That is the only thing I have done. Everything is owned by, the data is owned by, put out by the Election Commission of India. It's an official data.
Okay, so you've established that the source of whatever you are saying is the Election Commission of India's data, which is freely available for the public to interpret, correct?
Yes, exactly.
This is a presentation which we have put on the screen right now. I believe this was the presentation which was there part of the panel discussion as well on the data sources. As you've just mentioned, these are figures from press release, press conferences, Election Commission of India, and Andhra Pradesh Chief Election Officer. Now, Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, I want to understand from you, through the course of that panel discussion, you said that what happened was unusual in Andhra Pradesh 2024 Assembly elections. What was unusual?
Okay. Give me a little while. I'll slowly establish, the increase in polling. See, until 5 o'clock, the gross polling reported by the CEO was 68.04. And at 8 o'clock, the polling went up by 0.08%, reached 68.12. Then from 8 o'clock to 11:45, there was another increase of 8.38%, bringing the overall polling percentage to 75.60. Then from 11:45 until 2 o'clock in the morning, there was an addition of 4.16%. Mind you, this 4.16% poll adds, if you translate that into the gross numbers, adds 17 lakh 19,000 odd votes. Which means, and I have also given in my presentation the CEO's own statement saying that polling has more or less over, except in 3,500 booths, the polling was continuing. So which means from 11:45 till 2 a.m., polling went on in 3,500 booths for 2 hours 15 minutes. That is 135 minutes. Which means that in 3,500 booths, 17 lakh 20,000 votes were polled in 135 minutes. The average works out to be 491 votes per booth. 491 votes per booth in 135 minutes works out to be 3.6 voters per minute. This is very important. I want you to follow this carefully. People are standing in the queue. 6 o'clock, the official polling gets over. But whoever is there in the queue by 6 o'clock is entitled to vote, however long it takes, provided 3 things are accomplished. 1, gates are closed. Nobody can enter after 6 o'clock. The second is everybody standing in the queue is given a token, a coupon. And the last person at the tail of the queue gets coupon bearing number 1. And the first person at the head of the queue gets the coupon bearing the last number. so that after one comes, the polling is officially over. That's one. The other thing is, whenever coupon-bearing voter comes in to exercise the vote, that coupon, because it's extra, the coupon has to be taken and preserved. That is true. Another one is the presiding officer has to write and make a note in the diary that 6 o'clock when the polling closed officially, still these many people are waiting. So we had distributed coupons, these many coupons, and we have allowed them to exercise their vote. This is the last and most important thing is all the people who are in the queue, according to the conduct of election rules manual, all the people who are in the queue, standing in the queue, will have to be videographed in such a way that their faces are discernible. This is a laid down rule. That is one. I'll come to that. But here, when you look at the time series, Sanketji, 491 voters exercising their franchise in 135 minutes. Because 491 votes is 17,20,000 votes divided by 3,500 booths. See, on an average means there could be more in some booths, there could be less in some booths. But if there is one booth which has more than 491, say 492, then some other booth somewhere will have to have one less. Or if it is two here more, somewhere somebody else, some other booth will have to have 2 or 3 more, isn't it? So then, is it possible, physically possible, manually possible for a voter to enter the polling booth, show the polling slip to the party agents, then go to polling officer number 1, show it again so that they make a note on the official record, then write down the time of the voter's entry, and then next polling officer will take your signature or thumb impression, then put a indelible ink on your index finger, then you move to compartment number 1 so that another polling officer activates it, push the button, move to the second compartment. Second compartment here because we had simultaneous polls from for Lok Sabha and Assembly. 2 votes. Then come out, which means that you entered, did all this, exercised your franchise twice in 2 compartments, and come out. This comes to 3.6 voters per minute. That means every 20 seconds, a voter did all this, exercised his franchise or her franchise twice and came out. Okay, and there's one more thing which is important here, is that once you press the EVM, there is a dead time of 7 seconds. Because the symbol has to be displayed and the VVPAT has to drop down. And then you go to the second one, again, when you press it, 7 seconds of dead time because display and then the VVPAT, which means 2 machines, the dead time would be 20 seconds. Now, you had 20 seconds for 14 seconds, yeah. 7. But the whole time that was available in this calculation for one single voter was 20 seconds. And if you take out 20 seconds, 14 seconds dead time, then per voter you had 6 seconds, which means per vote you had only 3 seconds. Now, Sanket, tell me, how is this possible? I just want to know. Just demonstrate to me. One. The other thing I'll tell you. See, nobody is allowed to enter, ought to be allowed to enter after 6 p.m. 5:59, between 5:59 and 6 p.m. is the deadline. Which means, and CEO, you can display that. CEO's own press statement published in a respectable newspaper called The Hindu on the following day said, the CEO had said, the last voter to exercise the franchise was at 2 a.m. which means the last voter who exercised their franchise at 2 a.m. should have entered the queue at 6 p.m., which means from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., that particular person was standing in the queue. Tell me, is that possible? Then one more thing. You see, both the Election Commission of India and the CEO repeatedly throughout the election polling process would tell you, somebody came on a wheelchair, somebody came in a dola, somebody came on a horseback, old person came, all that. So don't you have a record of somebody exercising franchise at 2 a.m.? They don't have. You can check. And another interesting thing, Sanketji, till now, neither the Election Commission of India nor the CEO of AP tell us which are these 3,500 booths which voted from 7 in the morning till 2 in the morning, next day morning. So these are the questions that are very, very essential for the Election Commission of India to explain, to answer.
Okay, so this is the reason why, Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, you say that the occurrences are unusual because of the time, the total number of time spent, and a whole host of activities. And you're right, we spoke to the former Chief Election Commissioner, Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, and he told us about this token, the last person getting token number 1, and then... but here is the thing, these procedures are laid out, Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, very, very clearly. There is supposed to be videography. There is all these booths have CCTV cameras. We've also learned that 5 agents are supposed to be of the Election Commission inside the booth and 5 outside. So for 3,500 booths, that would mean 3,500 into 10, 35,000 people would be aware of occurrences like this. Do you think it is humanly possible to, I don't know, let this not sound like an allegation, but manage 35,000 people?
Sanketji, that's a very important question to raise. I should not duck this question, nor should the Election Commission duck my questions. Let's have a level playing field here. Now, you are saying that there are political party agents sitting there. There are 5 people from the election polling officers in the booth and another 5 outside the booth. I understand. Not just 10, but probably 14, 15 also. So it would be more than 35,000. But the point is this. The point I'm raising is, has it really happened? You see, if it has happened and in front of these many people's eyes, as Dr. Qureshi suspected or questioned, or you are questioning now, is it possible to manage these many people? Yeah, that's a very, very difficult task. But therefore, the fundamental question is, has really polling taken place from 11:45 to 2 a.m.? That's the question you must ask. And if so, show me the proof. The proof is this. Show me the tokens. Show me the presiding officer's diary. Show me the videography. Show me any pictures either by the media or your own election commission, which takes old 108-year-old person coming and voting, or you take all this, isn't it? So why don't you say that the celebration of democracy is so big in Andhra Pradesh that in 3,500 booths people waited after 6 o'clock after the closure for 8 hours, and the last person to vote was at 2 a.m. Why don't you show it? Show it. Just show it. Show it for 7 seconds like you show the VVPAT.
I get it, Mr. Prabhakar, but I'm sure you're aware. So you're right when you mentioned that the Election Commission did say, why didn't you bring it up earlier? So not officially, but the Election Commission, by way of sources, in an India Today article, has said that for the past 2 years, a result has presented itself. There were polling agents of various political parties there were various representatives of political parties, and none of them have given any such representation.
Okay.
So, for someone outside the ambit of politics to come and cast aspersions in itself is unconstitutional. I'm just quoting the India Today article.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Yeah. Okay. On the surface, this looks a very powerful argument on the surface. But I tell you, Sanket ji, if this is the best defense of the Election Commission of India, why didn't you say it yesterday? Or why didn't you say it earlier? If that is the best defense, I'm extremely sorry. A mature election commission in a democratic country, it falls short of their stature. They can explain and see, they can say, why are you coming after 2 years? They can say that, provided I'm asking the election commission to cancel the election or to declare somebody else as the winner. They can say, look, not now. What are you doing? Were you sleeping? I'm asking, sir, please tell me how it is possible, humanly possible, for a voter to cast 2 votes in 6 seconds. That's what I'm asking. And which are the booths which had polling till 2 o'clock? And what are the where are the slips? Where are the tokens? This is what I'm asking. I'm not. My prayer is not to cancel the election. When I ask for a cancellation of election, you can say, what were you doing? It's already 2 years now, the government is in place. I can understand that. That is one. The second thing is, sir, I'm also surprised. I've seen some reports and I've seen some people talking about it. But you see, I am surprised because Election Commission of India, a constitutional body, is saying something which is not true. I'll tell you what. Civil society has been approaching the Election Commission of India about the irregularities, discrepancies, and possible irregularities, potential irregularities, and potential discrepancies. Since when? Since 2017-18. After 2019 election, ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms, had gone to the court also. One. And then, after that, the first ever Vote for Democracy and the citizens groups, citizens constitution group, we have gone. First memorandum was given to the Election Commission of India in May 2022 about these possibilities. And followed up again in August 2023. Then in July 2024, after the 24 Lok Sabha elections, July 2024, a comprehensive memorandum was given to the Election Commission of India. It is there in the portal. You can see it. I can send you the link. And again, in April 2025, there is another memorandum. None of them was answered by the Election Commission of India. Now, then comes, this is on the screen. What you see is one of the memorandum. Then, Sanket ji, in December 2024, Biju Janata Dal went to the Election Commission of India with a very comprehensive memorandum, bringing out from their own data. You're talking about 17C polling agents and all that. Qureshi ji is also talking. I saw it on your program. The way that it's not possible to reconcile the number in the 17C and the number in the Form 20. Many constituencies, and the discrepancies are, humongous discrepancies. In a constituency, in some constituencies, it is somewhere around 4,000, 5,000. And the poll percentage, the preliminary and the final poll percentage figures varied to the extent of between 10, 12%, 10% to 30% in some constituencies. Now, my point is, civil society groups have gone, I've given you all the dates also, year and month and date, and Biju Janata Dal had gone. Till now, the Election Commission of India has not given a single reply to any of these memoranda, to any of these letters. Not a word. And then how can they say that nobody approached them? Is that fair? Is that fair for a mature constitutional body in a democracy like India? That's one. The other thing is this your best defense? Is this your best defense? We are not asking, we are not asking you to act on this. Our prayer is very clearly, which are these booths? What's your problem? After 2 years, you don't say it? You don't tell me what the booths are? And you won't give an explanation of how it is possible for a person to cast 2 votes in 6 seconds? What are we asking for? Are we asking for, cancellation of election? No, we are not asking for it.
Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, just for the understanding of the viewers and my own, what is the rule on the Election Commission preserving documents? So there is a Form 17C, which is a collection of the total number of votes and a sort of a sequencing of who all have voted at a booth level. Then at the end, there is a Form 20, which is a collation of these forms. And then there is video recording. And then you've got polling agents who are shared this data. So a question can be, if political parties and their polling agents have not raised this, then what is the concern right now? And just to add to this very question, what should the Election Commission be doing from here on? You see, trust in the EC has to be paramount. So what should the EC do?
Okay. Now, let's look at it at two levels, Sanketji. The whole framing of this is, why did the political parties raise it? Who are you to raise it? You're, after all, one individual. Political parties have no problem. What are you talking? Candidates have no problem. What are you talking about? Now, I want to tell you very clearly, through you to your viewers, is I consider the democratic process and the election process in India, in my country, not just a game played among political parties and the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India is not there to conduct elections for the sake of political parties. Elections are conducted for me, for you, for our common citizens. Isn't it? So, and earlier Supreme Court rulings have very clearly said that the Election Commission of India is answerable to the people of India. It's on record. Now, so you are answerable. Now, if you tell me, I'm not a citizen, I'm not living in Odisha, I'm living in Telangana now. And I'm talking about Andhra Pradesh election. Don't I have a right to talk about Andhra Pradesh election and Odisha election and Haryana election, or in a booth? What happened? I have a right. Don't tell me you have nothing to do with it. You are not a candidate. You are not a political party. Should I be a candidate in order to know how many people stood in the queue after 6 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning? Should I be a political party? Should I be a candidate in that particular constituency to know that? You have an obligation to answer me as a citizen. This is one. The second thing is that, why is Election Commission not prepared to be transparent and put in public domain Form 17C? Now, for instance, I don't know which constituency where you live. Probably you're in Delhi. In New Delhi constituency, for instance, in a particular booth, what is the polling, final polling, authentic polling? Should I not know sitting in Hyderabad? And which means your 17C tally should be put in the portal. When you're putting so many things in the portal, why don't you put this in the portal? And if you deny me that, which is a document, and when the Election Commission says, I will give it only to political parties, only to their agents, is that a legitimate stand to be taken by Election Commission? I don't know. It can't be. In my reckoning, in a democratic country, it can't be. It has to be in the public domain. So, Election Commission will have to put the footage of people who are waiting, the slips and Form 17C, and the presiding officer's diary. Then, if in the presiding officer's diary, if the presiding officer says that 491 people I've given tokens to, and those tokens are here, and then this is the video footage, and discernible faces, 491 people were all captured on the camera, and then the last person voted at 2 a.m. is also captured, I will shut up, Sanket. See, why will I? Because my entire analysis is winner, loser, agnostic. I don't care who wins. I'm also not suggesting it would have been that person winning or this person winning. I'm not suggesting that. I am trying to ask questions about the process and its integrity. Electoral process integrity is my concern. That's all.
All right. Mr. Parakala Prabhakar, thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.